Jim Comey's daughter. She was just fired by the DOJ. She's known for a couple things. She just lost the Diddy case, of course, and she was Jeffrey Epstein's prosecutor.
Been released?
Not to my knowledge, and that's a question for the Attorney General, as I said, and the President has told the Attorney General if they have any more credible evidence, they should release it.
The ball is in her court. Can she roll this thing out properly? Sit down with Kesh Patel and them and have a conversation. Can you please come together on one mother freaking accord and present something reasonable to the American people so we can go on about our business? What if you could delay your next 2 mortgage payments? That's right. Imagine putting those 2 payments in your pocket and finally getting a little breathing room. It's possible when you call American Financing today. If you're feeling stretched by everyday expenses, groceries, gas, bills piling up on you, you're not alone. Most Americans are putting these expenses on a credit card, and there doesn't seem to be a way out. American Financing can show you how to use your home equity to pay off that debt. You need to call American Financing today before you get to a point where you can't make those payments. Their salary-based mortgage consultants are helping homeowners just like you reconstruct their loans and consolidate debt, all without upfront fees. And their customers are saving an average of $800 a month. That's like a $10,000 raise. It's fast, it's simple, and it could save your budget this summer. Call now before it's too late. Call American Financing today, 866-889-8010. That's 866-889-8010 or americanfinancing.net/Tatum. All right, let's talk about a few things. I want to address some of the breaking news that just came out about President Donald Trump and his statement to Pam Bondi. And, you know, what's funny is that I think the biggest disappointment is how inconsistent in communication these grown-ups have been, especially on our side. And this is why people were so upset. People weren't really, to be honest, I don't think people were just as upset or as upset about Epstein itself or about the covering up of pedophiles thing. I think that people were open to say, what do we have here? Let us know what we have and let us be the judge of what we think about the evidence that's presented. I think that every single person under the sound of my voice would have been perfectly fine with Trump saying, I can't because of this. And people honestly trust Trump enough to say, okay, man, he's acting in the best interest of the country. I don't think he's doing it to cover anything up. He could give us a little bit here and say, I can't release it because of national security issues. Here's exactly why. I think a lot of people would have a feeling about it, but most people will accept it. What he did the other day is what the problem was. We don't know what's out there. We just want to hear y'all tell us that there's something or nothing. We don't want to get gaslit by our own government. But Donald Trump, maybe because he heard the backlash a little bit, I don't know, maybe somebody gave him some really good advice. Maybe Charlie Kirk called him and said, Donald Trump, hey, check this out. I think it's invaluable for you to kind of get back on the right course, and you can shame the devil, which is the Democrats, if you just do this one thing. So what did Donald Trump do? Pull a clip up. This is what he said about Attorney General Pam Bondi, and I think you guys will find this to be interesting. Clip 1, roll it.
Been released?
Not to my knowledge, and that's a question for the Attorney General, as I said, and the President has told the Attorney General if they have any more credible evidence, they should release it.
Is that evidence, would she have to run that by the President before she released it?
I don't think so. He said if she has any more credible evidence, she should release it.
You're on.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
So there you go. The young lady herself, has been absolutely tremendous, Caroline Leavitt, just said that she was privy in the conversation that Donald Trump said, Pam Bondi, if they have anything relevant, she should release it. Now, Pam Bondi was watching me right now. I'm not going to spend too much time on this today. I got stuff to do. But if Pam Bondi was watching me today, I would tell her, ma'am, do you need help? Do you need ChatGPT to help you? Do you need me to get on the phone with you to consult? Do you need some expert to give you a PR lesson on how to present this information or the lack thereof? Please do it right this time. Donald Trump is sort of kind of pushing himself away from it. People will forgive and forget about Donald Trump because there's going to be, when I say Donald Trump's fault, because he's going to do some more tremendous stuff. There's a lot on the horizon. There's a lot of things that can happen in our government. Donald Trump is doing a lot of great things, and people are going to forget this Epstein thing. But Pam Bondi, the ball is in her court.
This is a Fox News alert. This has been a bad few-week stretch for Jim Comey's daughter. She was just fired by the DOJ. She's known for a couple things. She just lost the Diddy case, of course, and she was Jeffrey Epstein's prosecutor. So the daughter of the former FBI director, James Comey, she's a veteran federal prosecutor, worked on these cases. Maurene Comey is fired.
The ball is in her court. Can she roll this thing out properly? Sit down with Kesh Patel and them and have a conversation. Y'all can talk over coffee. I don't know. Y'all need to go to the Oval Office. Tell Donald Trump, can y'all get one of them private rooms so y'all can just have a secure conversation? Can you please come together on one mother freaking accord and present something reasonable to the American people so we can go on about our business? Can you please do that? Goodness gracious. We want to move on. All right, I just want to point out the hypocrisy from the Democrats, then we're going to get to a couple of other interesting stories.
Wait a minute. So I have not heard her publicly say, you know what, I no longer believe that Anderson Cooper and, Tom Hanks and all these people and all these Democratic leaders, I no longer believe that they're Satanists and blood drinkers and pedophiles. I no longer believe that they're on a phony manifest. They believe that, there's belief out there that by QAnon people that there's this, cabal of people drinking the blood of children, and it's based on anti-Semitic tropes. You say she behind closed doors disavowed that? Come on. I mean, Mike, you would not want to sit next to this person in public, would you? It's not exactly outlandish to wonder about the president's connections with Epstein, given that they've crossed paths and shared moments many times over the years, both in New York and Mar-a-Lago circles. The Epstein case's pivotal moments, including Epstein's death in jail in 2019, happened during the first Trump administration. So even if everything to do with the president, both in office and before, are all completely innocent and above board, as they very well may be, the connections themselves are still there.
I want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
Yes, I yield to Scott.
I yield to my good friend Scott Jennings.
And this disingenuousness is what you need to know about the Democrats right now. The party's in the ditch.
It's our fault.
We have to
Because
go.
you have
Got a full
Democrats.
block on that,
Because you
Scott.
got
Kids,
Democrats.
if you're interested in politics, watch this pivot.
You've got Democrats saying, we must release the file. Joe Biden had the files for 4 years. Not a single Democrat cared. And if Donald Trump were
He
in
didn't
it,
campaign on releasing the files.
and if Donald Trump,
Trump did.
But these Democrats are acting like it's a national emergency, and they did nothing about it. If Donald Trump were in there, don't you think Joe Biden would have put? They had law enforcement chasing them all
I
over
think we
creation.
can all acknowledge Democrats are taking advantage of the situation in a
But-
political way. I mean, that does not seem like a contested thing. It's that the issue is
Now,
that
look, people legitimately have questions.
Yes.
Powerful people did do terrible things. I'm sure there are things in the files that cannot be released because
Why?
of this. Well, would you want to have victims' names or child
I mean,
pornographic tapes
look,
or
all
anything
that,
like
all
that?
that sort of
Probably
stuff.
not.
But I'm serious now. They said that
You're a
they-
lawyer, by the way. Some of this stuff you know can't be released.
Hey, look, I don't want all the bad stuff released, but I am saying this. Who's lying here? They said they had the stuff, they had them dead to rights. Donald Trump built up this huge pile of accusations, and now he's like David Copperfield, just trying to make them all disappear. Why? Why won't they just release the stuff that is not going to hurt children, but might help America?
Well, it sounds like that's what the president is saying. If you have things you can release it, and then explain why you can't release the rest. That's a legitimate point of view.
If you see such a need to investigate this, why didn't you raise it during the Biden administration? I mean, we couldn't find that you made any public comments about Epstein in previous administrations.
Well, I would have been happy to raise it then as well. Frankly, we were focused on so many different pieces, but I have been one of the Democrats that has been consistent on what I call out Republican presidents for and Democratic presidents for, whether it is FISA, reforms that we need, whatever it has been. I've been pretty consistent. War powers. I've criticized Joe Biden just as I'm criticizing Donald Trump. I think transparency is not something that should happen only when you have a Republican president. It is something that we need for both Democratic and Republican presidents.
So then why didn't you call for more transparency earlier during the Biden administration? I'm just trying to better understand why you are so intent now on calling for this.
Well, I think I gave it the same focus that I'm giving it now. We haven't, I think I've released one tweet on this, and you wanted to talk about it, so I'm happy to talk about it here, but it certainly hasn't been the focus. I'm just responding to what I think is a massive switch from the Trump administration around this issue. My focus has been on the big bad betrayal bill, and I will continue to focus on that. But yes, I think that this information should have been released under the Biden administration. It should be released under the Trump administration.
People were dying for this information. There was some sort of list that everybody thought was going to come out, and who's on the list. What's important for us to note is we shouldn't be repeating names that are on the list, because just because your name has not on the list, but in the documents, just because your name is on the documents doesn't mean that you have done anything criminally irresponsible or illegal or civilly irresponsible.
Or that you were a client.
Or that you were a client. The only really, these documents as I read them, only reflect Epstein's sexual assaults of women and his sexual behavior. So I think that...
And Ghislaine also?
And Ghislaine. And so being named in this suit does not equate to being accused of wrongdoing. And I think that is extremely important, because conspiracy theorists seem to not understand or enjoy facts.
Yes.
These are the facts.
There is a list. Trump's name is on the logs, the passenger logs of Epstein's aircraft at least 7 times. That's already been made public. I mean, of course, Trump is denying any and all allegations, but all of that information is out there. Why not just put it to rest and say, release the list?
These Democrats are lying sacks of horseflies. And the reason that I say that is because we haven't heard anything from the Democrats about Epstein until recently. And the only reason I'm making this out, because I don't care about what they say. I don't really care. I think that we are dominating them. But because your mom and them may be watching this stuff on the news, or you may go to dinner with somebody and your woke friend who still wear a mask in a Tesla, or like I saw the other day, I'm in Florida wearing a mask on the beach like a dummy. Maybe they still stuck on stewheadness, and you have to be able to present some factual information to them. So let's play a couple clips from the Democrats who never really said anything about this, and now they're presenting this, and they have been called out on the news multiple times. Roll the clip.
Congressman, you could have gotten that from 21 to 25 when Democrats controlled the DOJ. Why? It was a crisis then. It's a crisis now. Why didn't Democrats call for it from 21 to 25?
So, I mean, you'd have to go back and look specifically at particular prosecutorial decisions and what was taking place in terms of the other cases. So I don't know. We could try to reconstruct that record. But the point is that Donald Trump is the one who has led the crusade to say that that Epstein, who was his very close friend, and there's all kinds of pictures of them.
I'm finna cuss. Y'all pray for me. I want to cuss. Trump should be able to sue people for saying this stupidity. Epstein was not Donald Trump's very close friend. There is actual record that Donald Trump banned Epstein from coming to Mar-a-Lago. Donald Trump banned and cut off his relationship with Epstein a long time ago when he realized he was a weirdo pedophile. I don't know if he knew he was a pedophile, but he was a weirdo. He was doing creepy stuff, and Donald Trump said, I want nothing to do with you. You are no longer allowed to come to my resort. Period. That's on record. Everybody and their mama know that. And they on TV talking like this. Trump should sue their socks off. Anyway, roll it.
And look, I think this one surprised me a bit because of all of these complaints online going after Trump and the Epstein files. You might think his approval ratings were going down with Republicans. If anything, they're going up. Republicans who approve of Trump, look at our CNN poll. The prior one, 86%. The one out this week, 88% were Republicans. How about Quinnipiac? The prior poll, 87% approve of Republicans. This week out, 90% with Republicans. If anything, Donald Trump's approval rating has gone up since this whole Epstein saga started. He is at the apex, or close there too, in terms of his popularity with Republican voters, Epstein files, complaints, or not.
You just proved that not everything online is real.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, that wasn't the clip I was looking for, but I can speak to this clip real quick. You know why I think this is happening? Because most rational people don't care about Epstein. I'm just being honest. I think that there's a lot of people that are confused about the situation that want clarity. They don't like what Trump had said about it, but the average person don't care about this pedophile who killed or may not have killed himself. Most people are not going to live and die on the fact that there's people in the government who may have been on this island or may have been somebody he worked with. Most people are not going to live and die on that hill. Most people are going to live and die at the grocery store, going to live and die with their wages. They're going to live and die whether or not people are going to get deported or not, or whether or not there's a terrorist attack that's going to occur on American soil, live or die on whether or not they have to pay excessive amount of taxes. They're going to live and die on the direction of education in the school system, whether or not they're allowing boys to beat up on girls in sports. You know, all of these different principles, this is where people live and die on. They don't live and die on this deep rooted conspiracy. And people misconstrue the word conspiracy. Conspiracy don't mean it's not true. Conspiracy means that it's a coordinated effort. So this conspiracy of the government colluding or working together with this weirdo, Jeffrey Epstein, I don't think people live and die on that. I just think it is a social media outrage. And that's why the Republicans' numbers are going up. The Republicans are doing the right thing. Let me just say this too, and I'll move on. I don't think it's just the Republicans are doing the right thing. It's that the Democrats are doing such a poor job. Like, I think this is how it happened. The Democrats do more to create Republican voters than Republicans do. I'm just telling you, it's the honest to God truth. Like, I don't think Republicans are doing stuff and they're communicating in such a great way that, you know, swaths of people are going over to the Republican Party. I think the Democrat madness is so unhinged that the average person is like, what? They advocate what? They're complaining about what? We never heard them talk about this. And then people are putting stuff together and they're like, the Democrats are evil. And so we're going to move on.